Let's start working with our web UI. I have here in VS Code an empty folder for our project. I will call it WebPlay Rec. I will create a folder inside this folder and I will call web UI. Then I will go to the MDN web audio examples here in audio basics, and I'm going to download these 3 files and put in these folders that I just created. So I'm downloading the index.html, WebPlay Rec, web UI. Let's save it here. Then I also need the outfoxing mp3. This is the file that uses to play. Let's download it as well. Web UI. And we need the styles CSS. And I will also download inside my web UI. In my folder WebPlay Rec, I have a folder called web UI, and I have here the index, the outfoxing, and the styles. In this tutorial, I won't go deeper into HTML, JavaScript, CSS, or the Web Audio API. We need a full series of tutorials to work and to learn how to use it. But what I'm going to do is to prepare this example so we can use it with Python Flask, and we can also use it as the web UI for our Juce WebView. But first, let's just run this and see how it looks. So I'm going to open a terminal and I am going to call Python -m HTTP server. So I have an HTTP server on port 8000. So I can go here, and if I go to localhost 8000, I have here my web UI and I have my web application. So when I press play here, it should start playing this mp3 file, and then I can change volume and panning. So this is our web UI that we're going to combine together in our Juce framework, and we'll have it as the web view. So it works, we have all the files necessary, but now we need to prepare these files to use with Flask. The first thing I'm going to do, this is not necessarily needed to use with Flask, but just it will make our life easier when we integrate this with the Juce framework, and also to make our code more readable. So this part here, where there is this JavaScript, I am going to remove it and put it in a separate file. So I'm going to create here a new file. I'll call it index.js. Inside this index.js, I will put everything which is inside this script part here. So all of this, I'll just move to the index, and I can delete from here, and I'll save my files. I will structure my projects folder in a way that is required by Flask. So for Flask, we need to create a folder that is called templates, and we move the index.html to this templates. We also need, it's not fine, we need another folder that is called static. Inside this static, we need a folder called audio, and I will move the outfoxing audio here. We need a folder called CSS, and I will move this style CSS to here. And we need a folder called JavaScript, and I'll move the index.js to the JavaScript folder. So now this is how our project looks like. We have a main folder called WebPlay Rec. Inside the WebPlay Rec, we have our web UI. Inside our web UI, we have the static with the audio. Also, the CSS is in the wrong place. We have inside the static an audio with our MP3, the CSS with our style CSS, and our JavaScript with our index JavaScript and our index.html inside the templates. But now we need to mirror these changes into our files. So first thing we need to do is here in our index.html. It's not styles anymore. We need to go to static, then CSS, and then it's our styles. It's not outfoxing anymore. We need to go to our static audio and outfoxing.mp3, and we need to include here a way to access our module, which is our index.js. So I'm doing this script type module, source is our static JavaScript index.js, and then script. So now this is how our project is structured. It should be ready to use with Flask. What I'll do now is to create our Python file so we can have our Flask. So inside the web UI, I will create a new file. It's going to be called app.py. Then inside the app.py, I am going to import Flask and render template. So from Flask, import Flask and render template. I am going to have my app Flask name. I will define something that will route to the home and will render our index.html. So we have the app.route slash, I'm defining home, and I'm returning render template index.html. Then I'm going to have my run app, and what I'm doing is if name equals to main app run. Let's save. Let's run this. So we have it running on localhost port 5000 now. So if I go to the localhost, I have here my app. So we're now using Flask to serve this web application. As now we have this nice Flask backend, let's use it. So what I want to do now is that, so when I press play or I press stop, I want to get the value of the volume and the value of the pen, and send it to the Flask backend and print it. In our app.py, I will create a function that will receive and print these values that we're going to send. So I'm defining a function called button pressed, and I'm routing the app. So when we use the slash button pressed with the method post, it will execute this function and it will get the JSON from this request as a data, and we're printing data and we're returning success. To use this request, I need to import from Flask the request. So we're now ready to include certain things here. So if playing or if pausing, let's get the values of the pen and volume. So just to make life easier, I will create a function called button pressed, and inside this function I will create a header. I will create a body of our message, and then I will use the fetch button pressed, and then we can use this button press function wherever we want. So inside this button pressed, I am having here my headers, new headers, then I'm appending content type of JSON application, so I'm sending these values as JSON message. Here I'm getting element by ID, the penner value to this variable pen value, and this volume value to the volume value. So the ID in our index HTML, we have an element with the ID volume, and we have an element with the ID penner. So this is what I'm doing. I'm getting the element by ID, taking its value and adding to these variables. Then I'm just logging into the console these values just for checking. This is not necessary. Then I'm using this fetch with the button pressed, which is the route to this function here. I'm creating this JSON using the post method. I'm using the headers. It's my headers that I create here. In the body, I'm using JSON.stringify, and I'm passing this pair of values. So the pen with the pen value that's taken from here. Volume is the volume value that is taken from here. Then, after this is executed, there is a response. I'm getting this response JSON, and then in this response, there is this success that I am printing in the console, and this return success that should be true. So now I have this function button pressed, and I can put it here, for example, when it's playing, and also when it will pause. So I can save it all. I can run my application. Let's go to our page. Let's check the console. So I can, for example, change the volumes here. We have the panning value and the volume value in the console. We also have the panning value and the volume printed by our Flask backend. Now I can particularly change the values. Pause. Now I have different values for panning and volume, and I also have different values for pen and volume in my Flask backend. So we've already seen that this is quite interesting. We can do different things. You can create different functions with different endpoints, use different methods and different kind of data. So this is just the basics how we can use our example of the web audio that first we just served with the HTTP server. Then we configured our application to use the Flask backend, and Flask requires this templates folder, this static folder. We created our app and we use our app run. So we transformed the web audio API example in a way that we can easily use it with Flask. That's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to make the example of the Juce framework, the recording demo of the Juce framework to run. Then we will modify both the Juce recording demo and this Flask application so they can communicate to each other. And then we will have our full application that uses the Juce framework together with this web UI using the Juce WebView. So I see you on next tutorial where we will start running the recording demo from Juce.